So half of the Chiefs fan base is holding on to hope that the Chiefs will make the playoffs. The other half, they've already completely given up on the season and they're talking about the draft. Today, we're going to break down all the scenarios over the next 5 weeks and let you know how the Chiefs stack up.
If at any point you like what you see today, hit that like button. If you haven't subbed already, go ahead and do that and share us out with a friend.
All right, y'all, the playoffs is in 5 weeks, and the Chiefs are in uncharted waters right now navigating that because we haven't been 6-6 with Patrick Mahomes in his entire career. We've been on that unprecedented run. Things are a little tougher this year, Mike, so let's take a look at these different scenarios over the next 5 games and just see what the Chiefs have to do to maybe sneak into the playoffs here.
Right, so we're going to look at the ESPN.com playoff scenario machine, and we've already got it preloaded up. Week 13 is in the books. We're on week 14. Steve, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run through these scenarios really quickly, and we're not going to worry about the NFC. I could care less over there. We're looking at how the Chiefs get in or out. So let's just stick to the AFC matchups. So for week 14, we got Miami at the Jets. This one does not matter, in my opinion, so we're just going to take the home team here. The Steelers and the Ravens. That could be a game with some implications. Who do you think wins that game?
With the Ravens being at home, I'd almost take the Ravens in this matchup. I think the Steelers, they've been decent this year, but you've seen them be really freaking bad too. The whole town's calling for Mike Tomlin's job. They want a whole new coaching staff. Does that sound familiar to anybody? But the Ravens, they're kind of getting it back together, right? Lamar's been trying to right the ship for a few weeks now, and they're starting to play more to that true Baltimore Ravens form. I'm going to take them at home over the Steelers.
Look, the Jags are at home. Daniel Jones is a little bit injured right now. He's shaking up. I'm going to take the Jags here. I think the Jags are the play. Bengals versus Josh Allen and the Bills. Look, this is pretty much a toss-up. I think we need the Bills to lose. Sake of maybe making it tougher on us, let's go ahead and make the Bills win this one. I think that the Broncos are probably going to handle the Raiders. I don't see that being a big deal. And then here's the big one here, Chiefs versus Texans. We have to win. We know this. And then we probably hope. We don't hope. We know the Chargers are probably going to have to get beat here by the Eagles, or It's going to be a tough run.
The Eagles are bouncing back off of a 2-game losing streak, so I think they're definitely going to come in ready to beat the Chargers.
Right, so if that all plays out just like we got on the screen in Week 14, I'll scroll down. We have not entered the playoffs just yet. The Los Angeles Chargers taking that loss will remain a 7th seed, and then you have the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars at a 6th and a 3rd. Now, if we switch that game really quickly and look and see what happens if the Colts win, those two switch. So it's 3rd and 6th. So that really has no indication over the Chiefs right at the moment. The Bills and the Bengals also doesn't really help us. It just kind of throws the Bills from a 5 to a 7. So it could help us in the long run, but this week it's not going to really put us in the picture. So let's move on to week 15 and let's see what happens. Again, we're not messing with the NFC. Steve, you can call this one. I'll let you do this. Josh Allen and the Bills go to New England. They go to Foxborough to battle the Patriots. What are you taking there?
So the Bills are not as good as people think they are, but I still think they're a better team overall than the New England Patriots right now. And here's my reasoning, dude. I know a lot of people are big on the Patriots at the moment. They're 10-2. They're the 1 seed in the AFC. But my problem is, dude, their schedule has been absolute trash, dude. I think I saw a couple middle school teams, a JV squad, and maybe even a peewee team on their schedule when I was looking. They are last place in strength of schedule. They've played absolutely nobody. Mike, a team that's playing the Jets twice, the Dolphins twice. They're playing the Saints. They're playing the Falcons. They're playing the worst of the worst every week. So I just can't buy into them right now. I think Josh Allen goes in there and knocks them off.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up, and I think that makes it a little tougher for us to get in, which is kind of what we're going to look at. I think the Bills, we would probably prefer the Patriots to win that. I think it would make it easier for the Chiefs, but it doesn't really affect us across the board as much if the Patriots do win. We got the Ravens versus the Bengals. Now, look, we probably need the Bengals to win that one with the Ravens, but at the same time, who knows? I don't know. If the Ravens were to fall to the wild card and then you have the Steelers win the division, we've got the tiebreaker. But I'll go ahead and say with Burrow back, I'm going to go ahead and say with the Ravens being inconsistent, I'll take the Bengals. So this leads us to the Jets versus the Jags. And look, I don't see the Jets beating the Jags in any scenario. So Chiefs, Chargers, we have to win. We've already discussed this, and you definitely have to win your divisional games here.
Okay, that Chiefs and Chargers game, bro. I saw where Nick Wright said this, and I'm kind of on the same page as him. If the Chiefs beat the Texans, I think the winner of that game right there is who's going to be in the playoffs. I think that's who's going to have that last seed.
Right, it's possible, and I mean that's why we're doing this. We want to see what it does. And speaking of Texans, I don't think they lose to the Cardinals. Now, could they? It is possible. Maybe they go in. Maybe they lose to us. Right, maybe they get demoralized a little bit. Maybe God forbid, an injury or something. They could lose, but for the sake of this, we'll say the Texans win this. Colts versus Seahawks. Now, this is a big one.
Seahawks could definitely win that matchup.
Win this. They definitely could. So let's go ahead and put them down. Green Bay versus Denver at home. We've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to let you know that Missouri is getting an early gift from Santa this year. You can now bet on your favorite teams and players right here at home because DraftKings Sportsbook is now live and available in your state. We love DraftKings because it allows us to take action on same-game parlays, props, and so much more when the boys in the red and gold host H-Town this week. New to DraftKings? Sign up today and take advantage of this exclusive Missouri launch offer. New customers that bet $5 get $300 instantly in bonus bets when you sign up using our promo code ACU. With DraftKings, the crown is yours. We'll go ahead and take Denver here just to play devil's advocate here and say how tough is it for the Chiefs. Okay, so we're to the Dolphins Steelers. I don't think the Dolphins go into Pittsburgh and win that one.
No.
So technically, as it sits right now, 2 weeks into this, Steve, the Chiefs still have not reared their head into the playoffs. Okay, let's move on to week 16. So we've won 2. We're playing the Titans this week. I'm going to go ahead and put that down as a win. You have to beat the Titans. And the Chiefs have appeared now as the 7th seed with that win right there. Now, we haven't picked other games just yet. So let's go through and pick any games that could hinder this. We got to pick Jets versus Saints because it's an AFC team. We'll go ahead and
the Jets.
Yeah, okay, cool. Let's take the Jets. I don't think the Browns are going to beat the Bills. That sucks for us. We probably wanted the Bills to lose that. Who wins this game, Steve, against the Ravens at home versus the Patriots? You picked against the Patriots last week.
That's tough. That's very tough, but I do think the Patriots could drop 2 in a row there. It just really depends on how the Ravens show up, right? Because we've kind of seen 2 versions of that football team this season.
Right, and so we have the Ravens right now winning. They are projected to win that division. So does that move anything if New England wins? Yes, it knocks them out of the playoffs, barring the Steelers winning or losing to the Lions. Let's just go ahead and take the favorite. Let's just take the favorite here. I'm sure New England will be favored. This is a big one here. The Chargers going into Dallas. We need Dallas to win that game. Does it do anything if the Chargers win the game? Yes, the Chargers will claim the 7th seed over us no matter what if they be. So what we can say is, Steve, if we go 3-0, the Chargers have to now go 0-3 to get us in the playoffs within 3 weeks.
Brother, come on.
I don't know if that's possible.
That's tough.
Let's go ahead and just miraculously keep the Chargers here. Whether or not it matters where they're losing down the board, I don't know if they lose 3 in a row. It is possible, but we'll leave them on the board here just because not everything's going to go our way. We've seen that all season. The Colts are going to beat the 49ers more than likely, although the 49ers have come on. Now, if the 49ers were to win that, does it do anything? It flips Jacksonville and Indianapolis. So basically, you're just flipping for that wild card there. We're going to go Bengals. I think the Lions handle the Steelers. The Texans are going to get a win versus the Raiders, no doubt. Jags versus Broncos, Steve. This is a big one in Week 16.
I don't think there's a lot of implications as far as it goes for the Broncos. I think they've pretty much got the AFC West wrapped up.
Right. So
correct?
If they win, nothing changes. If they lose, nothing changes in the seeding. So it doesn't matter who wins this. Now, I will say we need the Colts to probably lose the division. So we still need Jacksonville to get that win
as much as all.
Absolutely. That's also just good for us, going forward in the West. So let's go on to Week 17. We have not got in the playoffs because we allowed the Chargers to win 1 of 3. So let's go to Week 17. We've got, Chiefs at home versus the Broncos.
Gotta
and
win.
Again, we have to win this. We'll look at scenarios in a minute. Now, we've got back in now, and we knocked Denver out of the 1 seed.
You'd be playing Denver at that point. Brother.
Right, and you've knocked them out of the 1 seed. So here's what we'll do. Giants over the Raiders. That's in our division. Big matchup here with the Texans versus the Chargers. We probably at this point need the Texans to win because we'd have the tiebreaker over them. If the Chargers were to win,
Chargers win,
they claim the 7th seed again. So
Chargers have got to lose like 3 games.
What we're learning, and I don't think anybody's talked about this, is like it's basically us versus the Chargers down the stretch is what it's looking like, right?
Yes. That's why I said that I think that matchup between the Chiefs and the Chargers, if the Chiefs handle business with Houston, I think it's all up to that game who's going to get that 7th seed, bro.
Absolutely. I'm going to give the Steelers another win. I'm going to give the Patriots another win over the Jets. The Colts versus the Jags again for the second time in 4 weeks. Week 14. We had the Colts beating the Jags.
Okay.
But let's put the Jags over them because they're at home. And then in week 17, let's go ahead and we'll just give the home team the win. I don't think it changes much. But now the Chiefs are rolling at a 6th seed. Look at that. Eagles versus the Eagles got to go in to Highmark and play the Bills. Now, that should be a win by the Eagles, but the Eagles are kind of collapsing here, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know about that, honestly. Josh Allen at home, I think, might be able to
Josh is at a 5th seed right here, right now in the Bills. So if they get the win, nothing changes. They stay at a 5. If they lose to nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Okay, so we'll give them the win. Week 18, here we go. We're playing the Raiders. We got to win. So it's marking it down first. We have now jumped to a 6th seed, Steve. That is wild. This is the first big implication. This is Chargers versus Broncos. What happens if the Broncos win? The Chiefs stay at a 6th, and the Chargers are out of the playoffs. If the Chargers were to win, it does not matter. So if the Chiefs win out, the Chargers are statistically eliminated if they lose 2 games.
It's very possible. They have a tough schedule.
So let's let them go back. Now that we're seeing what it looks like in week 18, let's go back to this week, week 14, and give them the win over the Eagles and see what happens. We're still in.
End up having 3 teams from the West.
We're still in.
Yeah, I think there's a big time scenario where there could be 3 AFC West teams in the playoffs.
Right, so we would still technically be in if the Chargers beat the Eagles this week, but they were to lose to the Chiefs in week 15, which we know we have to win that. Week 16, they can beat Dallas. If they were to lose to Dallas at that point, now they're out of the playoffs. So it's in the week 17, we give them the loss to the Texans. If we give them the win, they go to a 2 seed. Oh my gosh. So the Chargers are really playing for a lot, which is wild. Okay, so let's get back to the week 18. How many times can the Patriots play the Dolphins? I feel like I just
they have
did
the
that.
worst schedule, brother. It is so easy. It's crazy.
So right now, Pittsburgh's cruising at a 4 seed. We've got them at home versus Lamar. Let's see what happens if Lamar beats them. Lamar would get into the playoffs. So those two will swap. Coming down, whoever wins gets in, whoever loses goes home. That is wild. Now, we have the tiebreaker over the Ravens. We have not played the Steelers, so I don't know how that affects us. I'll go ahead and give it to the home team. We'll give it to the home team for now. That brings us to Colts versus Texans week 18, Steve. Who did we have winning? Because we'll split them just to make it fair, I think.
They already played, and the Texans beat them. So I think that's the second matchup there. Let's go ahead and split it. Give it to the Colts.
Okay.
See what happens.
So we'll give it to the Colts. That takes us out of the playoffs. Ooh, That is a tough one. See, that's what I'm telling you, Steve. The Colts need to be losing, man. That's one thing I've noticed is that the Colts need to lose. It's basically, Steve, it is basically just the Chargers have to lose. That's what I'm seeing across the board. The Chargers
that's the name of the game. Yeah, absolutely, dude.
So let's take one look really quickly. This has probably went on. People's probably confused. They're probably crazy. They're probably tired.
Oh, absolutely.
I get it. But like, if you're a diehard like we are, you're wanting to look at this. Let's go back into this, Steve. Is there any game out of all these that we would be most likely to lose? You really can't lose to the Texans. You would almost be mathematically eliminated because they're so close and it's a wild card. But if you could lose one of these, we already determined you can't lose to the Chargers. So let's say we were to lose. You're not going to lose to the Titans. Let's say Denver were to beat us twice. Let's just say Denver beats us twice. Now, is there any way we can get in? Because, yes, look, we can still get in with a loss if the Texans beat the Colts. Jacksonville needs to win the South no matter what.
Yeah, we've said that before. Like, they need to win that.
That proves it right there. So if Jacksonville were to win the South and we were to lose one more game down this board,
we got a shot.
We've still got a shot here. Yeah, let's say we go ahead and beat Denver. What if we were to lose to, say, Oakland last week? Or not Oakland, but the Vegas last week. We would still be in. So the one loss, We could still technically lose one more game as long as it's not to the Chargers or the Texans.
Correct.
Isn't that wild? So we've got to go.
Yeah.
We've got to win week 14 and week 15. We've got to have a 2-game win streak, and then we technically, you've got the Raiders and the Titans. You shouldn't drop
now.
those.
All that's pending on other teams, though, right? So I think ultimately, Mike, what this boils down to is what we already knew. The Chiefs absolutely have to win every football game. Now, there is a scenario where if they drop one that's not to the Chargers or the Texans, that they still could get into the playoffs. But you don't want to risk that. I mean, you're already playing with fire as we speak, but I think now just kind of that exercise, it was a little sloppy, a little back and forth or whatever, and it's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, for sure.
I think ultimately what you saw was that if the Chiefs handled business and they were to win out 5 games, they're absolutely in the playoffs. Like I said on our last video, it could be a 6 seed even. But I think if they win out, they're definitely going to be a 7. It can't get much worse than that. So I think their destiny is in their own hands. They got to go out, take care of business, and they can be right there in the playoffs, man, right in the mix.
The Chiefs just need to win. And I think this week we really need to be cheering for the Eagles. For once, we're going to have to cheer for the old tush push.
Yeah, but I think this is just a good exercise for the really jaded side of the fan base that said the season's over. Write it off. Everybody go home. Go ahead and book your vacations. I think that's a little premature. I understand it's very frustrating that the team is 6-6 at this point, and they've probably lost 4 games that they should have won. I understand the frustration there. I also understand not having the confidence going forward that the team would reel off 5 wins in a row after what you've watched all season. So I totally understand it, but I think that exercise does show you that the Chiefs have a couple different paths. Okay, they can actually lose a game and still get in. So I just think if the Chiefs handle business, brother, the rest of the AFC is going to eat itself. We talked about that a little bit on the last video as well. And I think the Chiefs have a really good opportunity here to get into the playoffs in what's considered a down or a bad season, and then have a shot at going and winning a Super Bowl, dude. Anytime, we've said it for years, that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, everybody gets in the playoffs, that we got a shot, and that's all we need.
Right, and in that simulation you've seen, we didn't really take a lot of upsets. We took a lot of the favorites to keep winning, and the Chiefs were still right there. So, look, it's basically coming down to the Chargers need to lose, Chiefs need to win. That's kind of the head-to-head, and we need Jacksonville to win the AFC South. We need Daniel Jones and the Colts to fall apart. That's what we need, and look, we've got a little bit of luck on our side because Daniel Jones, I don't love the injury. I didn't cheer for the injury, but he does have it, and he's got to deal with it. And we've also got Justin Herbert with a hand injury. So 2 injuries couldn't have come at a better time for the Chiefs.
We got Josh Simmons out, so, I mean, it's not like we come out unscathed there.
Absolutely. So we appreciate you guys watching today. If you haven't already, let's go to merch.offchiefedup.com. You can grab one of these. And if you like that, we've got just regular hoodies. We've got hats, the one Steve's wearing, that nice one with a little rope on it, baby. And I don't think we've got any deals going on right now.
We do.
Oh, what do we got?
What do we got? It's just CHIEFSMAS. That's the promo code. 15% off anything in the store.
Okay, sweet. We're going to run that out for the rest of the year, right? CHIEFSMAS until Christmas.
Let's talk about this for a second. You guys, get in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think. I know a lot of you are jaded and think the Chiefs have no chance. I know a lot of you are very hopeful, but I want to see, after seeing the scenarios, what everybody thinks about it. So get down in the comments.
That's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing this with a friend. We'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.